This week's community champion is raising awareness about domestic violence one step at a time.
He is doing it by drawing from his own personal experiences. West Shoes Mayor McDonough introduces us to Mike Adams.
Congratulations to you all for walking a mile in her shoes.
Dozens chose to walk the streets of downtown Orlando to raise awareness about domestic violence. It's the annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, benefiting Harbor House of Central Florida. From Sheriff John Mina to Mayor Buddy Dyer, this event brings out the city's top officials. Mike Adams is among the crowd. His sparkly purple boots and his pumped-up T-shirt aren't just for show.
I have two girls, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. And if nothing changes moving forward, there's a high probability that one or both of them will experience violence at some point in their life. And the thought of that just, it frightens me.
Mike is on the board of Harbor House and serves as the vice president. When he was a child, Mike spent time with his mother in a shelter just like Harbor House. He shared with us his difficult childhood.
I had a little brother who was 6 years younger than me, and he ended up in the hospital with broken bones. Unfortunately, in Michigan in the 80s, when you're the subject of abuse, they only remove that child. And since I was left in the home, I obviously became the subject of that future abuse. But during that time period, I do have memories of living in a shelter like Harbor House. I lived with my mother. Eventually they got us into a home, an apartment. I got my own room. And that was the first time I have an actual memory of my own toys.
Mike was eventually removed from his parents and spent time in foster care until he was adopted. He feels a deep connection and obligation to helping children who are facing similar challenges at such a young age.
When a child experiences trauma like domestic violence, they regress in their potty training. They open a floodgate of memories for me, because I was that child. I was that 7 or 8-year-old who was experiencing violence at home and was having those issues with potty training and had that regression.
In addition to raising awareness and walking a mile in her shoes, Mike led a diaper drive, collecting more than 12,000 diapers and 27,000 wipes. He's the chair of the Purple Door Luncheon this year, a signature event for Harbor House. And he takes his daughters along for the Pause for Peace event. The CEO of Harbor House says Mike walks the walk and talks the talk.
He helped us when we had our first 5K. He helped us when we were doing Handbags for Hope. And so from there, it was just amazing to have him always show up. If we had an event like this, he was just fantastic.
Not only does Mike do so much for Harbor House, but he's also a former Marine, serving in Iraq in the early 2000s.
Are you wearing these?
I am, yes sir.
Get them on, get them on.
Get 'em on? All right.
He's the chair of Mayor Dyer's Veterans Advisory Council.
Normally I have my daughter in a stroller, and I push her in the stroller. It's a cheat code.
Mike Adams is raising awareness and using his personal story to better the lives of children in domestic abuse environments. And that makes him a WESH 2 community champion.
I absolutely think that Mike Adams is a community champion. He is there for veterans. He is there to really talk about PTSD. He's there to talk about ways that you can really manage things through different nonprofits that are here in the local community. And then he's also an amazing, amazing spokesperson when it comes to putting a face on domestic violence, when it comes to being a childhood survivor.
I've been fortunate enough to where I was able to kind of break that cycle, and now it's my obligation to help other people do the same.
Meredith McDonough, WESH 2 News.